Hi, I'm Wanhee, and when I was just about to turn 30, I was broke and had just moved back in with my parents. My friends were in respectable jobs. I felt like a failure. Now after just 2 years, I've managed to turn that around. Not only do I look better, I'm healthier, and thanks to you, this is now my full-time job. So if you feel behind, I hope this video can help you turn it around just like I did. Let's get into it. It's actually okay not to know exactly what you want to do with your life, even as you approach the ripe old age of 30. And I know how difficult it can be because it's around that time where society's expectations, your family and your friends' expectations starts to meet like your internal anxiety about what you think you should have achieved or what you think you should be doing by now. And it can make you anxious and uncertain about the future, and that can be scary as well. My first tip to you is to accept that anxiety and uncertainty instead of trying to run away from it. Most people are scared of this because it feels anxious, it feels uncertain. So what do? They run to the next safe thing that will get rid of that feeling. Oh, I must find a new job. Oh, I must have a long-term girlfriend by now. Oh, I must get married. Oh, I must have kids by now. A lot of these situations, people that you think are in these like respectable, happy situations, I mean, some of them are, but a lot of them are in those situations because they felt uneasy about the anxiety of the moment. So they ran away to that next thing. If you're someone that really wants to find what it is that you want in life, sometimes you're gonna have to go through that period of like, oh my God, I'm screwed, and just stay with it. Next point, you have to respect the law of momentum. It's like one of these natural laws in life where everything that is static wants to stay static and everything that starts moving wants to keep moving. So this table is static right now. It doesn't want to move. But if this table was rolling down the hill, it will keep wanting to roll down the hill. And the same is true of your body. If you stay stuck, you will want to stay stuck. If you just keep moving your body, your emotions will change, your thoughts will change, and you'll slowly start to build a little bit of momentum in your life, and then new thoughts can enter your brain like, hang on a minute, I could try this. Oh wait, James was saying this, maybe I should hit up James, see what he's up to. Some of you may be coming back from dance class or football, or you may have had some wild thoughts or just different thoughts, and the reason for that is because your body movement created different thought patterns. If you want to know how to get started with building your body, moving your body, check out the minimalist workouts I made for free for you in the link below. But once you get the body moving, what is the next thing? Let's get onto that. You gotta wait for a vision. I don't necessarily mean a vision like some supernatural Mufasa in the clouds kind of vision, even though who knows, it could happen for you in your dream or something. But if you don't run away from that anxious, uncertain state and you kind of have the patience to wait for a vision, then oftentimes it will come. It might be when you're traveling alone because you wanted to just have some thinking time. You went to the beach, you went by the nature. Maybe you're having just a normal conversation but with somebody different. Maybe it can come from a dialogue, or maybe it's just an advertising on the street that gives you an idea. Whatever it is, like this vision is gonna come in the sense of a gut feeling. It's gonna be like, whoa, you could do this. Oh, you could try this pasta shop. You could look into doing this food truck. You could hit up this guy and do a collaboration. Whatever it is, your gut feeling is gonna show you like an idea that you're drawn to. And immediately as that gut feeling shows you what you truly want, your brain's gonna come in and cut it out. Your brain's gonna come in and be like, dude, don't be silly. It's never gonna work. Get rid of that idea. Focus on what you're doing. Because the brain wants to come in, rationalize, and tell you why things are difficult and dangerous to keep you safe. It doesn't really want you to like thrive in the world. Your brain don't want you to thrive. But in your gut, it's gonna show you that feeling. But the first thing you gotta do is you gotta have that patience to wait for that vision. And when it comes, instead of just battering it down, you gotta be able to see it for what it is. And in my case, it was many things. So for example, when I was doing my PhD, I would wake up at night, in the middle of the night, really anxious and almost shaking and sweating. I would just like be wide awake from deep sleep. Like imagine being deep sleep and then just going. And in those moments, I was like, I need to quit my PhD. I need to do something completely different. And I dedicated my whole life to academia, so the switch was not easy. And every time I tried to think about it, everybody around me was like, nah, PhD is different to a master's. You gotta get it. It's gonna open so many doors, yada, yada, yada. You've heard it all before, right? But in the gut, if you're willing to just stay with it, it's gonna show you what you truly need. And so I did quit my PhD. And then I went to the military. And in the military, I was thinking about YouTube. And again, it was like, how are you gonna be a fitness YouTuber, bro? like, you're not even that big, you didn't even win any competitions, who's gonna listen to you? You see the brain coming in? But again, because I felt it and I stayed with that gut feeling, I was able to, like, when I was doing CCTV duty, I was writing like titles for YouTube videos that I would be making when I got discharged from the military a year from now. And I promise you, those videos, I made some of them on my channel, and some of them did really well. So it just goes to show, you gotta have the patience to wait for a vision. And the next point is, you gotta have the courage to trust your gut, because there's going to be so many things that are going to try and stop you. You got to have the courage to be like, okay, it is this thing that I wanted. It is to quit the PhD. It is to start YouTube. It is to do this. You got to just do it. You got to say to yourself, okay, even if I fail, it's my failure. What is success if everybody's laid the path for you? Imagine like you succeed, but everything has been just manipulated so that you kind of were going to get there anyway. Well, you don't really feel satisfaction out of it. Whereas if it was a challenge, but you chose it, and you wanted to do it your way, and then you kind of got there, it's your success, so you feel good. Same even with failure. It's better to have your own failures and learn from them than to avoid failure all the time because of the best laid paths that were decided for you by other people. You got to have the courage to just go after that thing and value this idea that whatever happens, I want a deliberate life. I want a life where I made the choices and the failures and successes were my own. There is real value and wisdom in that. And I used to say this all the time to people that wanted to like advise me to a better path. I'm not saying don't listen to like the wise advice of people that have gone before you. I think that's super important as well. But there's always a point where you're gonna have to choose between your gut feeling and the advice of the people. I always think that you have to have this kind of desire to construct your life out of your own will. And that leads perfectly on to the next point, which is you gotta ignore the naysayers. The naysayers are going to be in your brain, they're going to be in your social circle, they're going to be in your family, they're going to be really close to you as well. And their voices are going to be like, oh, you want to be a YouTuber? Like, oh, it's never going to work. It's these sabotaging voices in your head. Even my parents, who genuinely want the best for me, are like, oh, you know, even if you wanted to start your own business, you should learn how business works from a proper business. You should go do the interview at the consulting firm. And I went to freaking do the consulting interview, and I sat there. They wanted me, but I was sat there looking at the office just like, wow, I cannot live in this Korean office. There's no way. And I started making these travel vlogs. I didn't know what the hell I was making on YouTube. I was uncertain, I was anxious, but I stuck with it. Let's actually dig into why the naysayers say all this stuff. Like, oh, you should go to a good school, you should get good grades, and then you should go to a good university, and then you should probably go for an internship around this time, and then from the internship it makes sense that you do a banking internship and go into banking. You do a consulting internship, go into consulting, and you work your way up from the first guy to the second guy to the vice president to the senior vice president, and then you transfer jobs. You should have a girlfriend and get married. This freaking path that they've laid out for you since you're 4 until you're like 39, guess who wants you to live like that? The people that lived like that. The people that avoided anxiety, wanted to run away from that feeling, and chose those paths. I don't want to shit on all of them because some of them genuinely wanted it and are happy, but a lot of people aren't. And so they want you to live like them because that makes them feel good about the path that they took. Well, guess what? You don't need to live like them. You don't need to make them feel good about their life. You only live once. Sorry to use a cliche, but it's actually true. So why do they want you to live like them? Because when you do something different, something radically different, it signals to them on some level that they could have done that too, and that's unsettling for them. So they'll often subconsciously, even while being well-meaning, will kind of be like, yeah, but you got to be careful about this, because enough people around you that do this, and enough times you consult people's advice, your brain's gonna take over, your gut's gonna lose, because you're a social animal. So one actually cool tip that I can give you is don't be sharing these gut feeling goals with too many people. My parents didn't know I had a YouTube channel until I was about 100k subscribers. Can you freaking imagine that? I didn't tell nobody. I still don't tell anyone. When they ask me what I do, I just say, oh, I help people with health and fitness and dieting on the internet and mental health and stuff. Like, I don't even tell them that because I just want to protect the bubble. I want to protect me and my thing. I have no desire to show off and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Because enough naysayers around you that are like, oh, but is it gonna work? You're gonna start doubt yourself, and doubt kills dreams more than failure ever did. You gotta be able to ignore the naysayers. Now, there are a few people who genuinely mean the best for you. These are your real friends. Now, Aristotle says you'd be lucky to have one such person in your life. So before you say, oh, A's my best friend, he's a real friend, he's real cool, like he helped me when I was drunk, like, and you start reeling off all these friends, you probably have one, if you're a really lucky person watching this, who genuinely genuinely means the best for you. You can tell this person. And usually this person will be like, dude, I think that would really make you happy. I think you should go for it. That's an amazing idea. Even if you fail, I think that's what you wanted anyway. They're going to do this. Now, if they don't do this, if they also are like, bro, then you might want to reconsider your idea. But generally speaking, you got to have this idea of ignoring the naysayers. Next, you got to trust that the dots will connect. This is something that Steve Jobs said. You're going to be doing a lot of things in life that seem disjointed, that seem like they have no connection to each other. And you're going to be wondering, why did I do that charity work in Botswana and then do an internship at a bank and then start learning Italian and then end up in this office? What the hell is going on? Why did I go learn about filmmaking suddenly this summer? So all these things that you think have no connection to your life is going to make you think, oh my God, why am I doing this? Where is my life going? And this is exactly what I had. But you have to trust that somewhere down the line, when you find that thing that you wanted to do and you go after it, it's going to connect. All the dots will connect like bah, 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 and it's going to make meaning. And those dots are connected if you see the connections, if you see it, not if somebody else says it. Because somebody else, they're going to be like, oh, yo, you did philosophy and now you're making YouTube videos on fitness? Like, how do they link? They don't seem to link. Surely you did philosophy, so you should do this. They don't need to connect the dots for you. The dots will connect the way you want them to connect if it makes sense to you. And let me tell you, the work that I did in philosophy definitely helps me in making fitness videos. And it allows me to tackle deep ideas in fitness to do with guilt and shame and the mindset and the psychology of fitness. A lot of the parts that people appreciate me for and differentiates me from other, gym bro fitness creators, that actually comes from my background in philosophy. Just the way that I talk and the depth of thought that I can relay onto you comes from all the things that I did in public speaking and academia through all those years. And even the work that I was doing, learning about online sales and marketing in this tiny room in Milan, which at the time I was like, what the hell am I even doing? That's exactly the thing that allows me not just to be a creator who makes videos, but someone who can monetize his brand. There's so many things. I could go on and on about examples where in the moment when I'm doing them, it feels like, what the hell am I doing? But in the moment that I find the thing that I'm gonna put my eggs into and just go after, all those things somehow magically connect. And you have to trust that your dots will connect. I promise you, they will connect the way that you see it in the moment that you find that thing that you're putting your eggs into. Next, accept your own speed. There are fast bloomers and late bloomers in life. I was very fast in some things, like whenever I learned sports and languages, I was very quick, but I was very slow in other things, like making money, getting a girlfriend, learning how to dress. Like, there are certain things that other people were just faster, and it can make you anxious because you feel like, is there something wrong with me? Why am I behind everyone? But you have to accept your speed. It's just the way you are, and you're fast in some things, you're just not as fast in others, and don't look at it as a bad thing. Usually early bloomers, they get a lot of validation too fast about the thing that they're good at. They can't value that thing enough because they didn't have to struggle to get it. Like teenage rock stars, they got so much fame and so much women attention and stuff, it's hard for them to feel good about that. Whereas if you struggled with it and you had to work your way to finding out how to make money, how to dress, how to get girls or whatever, you're gonna value it more innately because there was a struggle to it. So it's not even a bad thing to be a late bloomer. This is what I would have told my younger self that was feeling anxious about all these things. Like, dude, you're gonna make money. Don't worry about it. You're gonna find your way. Don't be so much in a rush. Just accept that some things you're fast, some things you're slow, and it's a-okay. And I wonder what my 40-year-old self would say to me now. Why are you trying to do this and that? Just chill out, dude. Who knows what he would say. But this is what I would have told myself 10 years ago. I hope this video on some level resonated with you. If it did, and if you think other people would be helped by it, please share it with a friend, that true friend you have, and see you next week. Bye-bye.